Ever found yourself overwhelmed by the challenges of finding a rental property in Connecticut? You're certainly not alone in that boat. The rental process can seem like a labyrinth, riddled with twists and turns that can leave even the most seasoned renter feeling lost. One of the most common hurdles potential tenants face is the high rental rates. Connecticut, with its mix of urban and suburban living, is a desirable place to live, and this demand is reflected in the cost of rent. The high cost can be a barrier for many, particularly for those on a limited budget or those who are just starting out in their careers. Then there's the competition. It's not uncommon for desirable properties to attract numerous applicants, resulting in a bidding war of sorts. This can be particularly challenging for first-time renters who may not have the experience or know-how to navigate such a competitive landscape. Understanding the rental process is another challenge. It's not just about finding a property and signing a lease. There are applications to fill out, fees to pay, and screening processes to go through. This includes credit and income verification, criminal history checks, and eviction checks. It can be a daunting process, especially for those new to it. And let's not forget about the application fee. At $50 per adult for online applications, these costs can quickly add up. Finally, there are the qualification requirements. To qualify, applicants must not have any previous felonies or evictions and show proof of monthly household income that is equivalent to 3 times the monthly rent amount. This can be a tall order for many, particularly for those just starting out or those with a less than perfect past. Overcoming these hurdles can seem daunting, but with the right knowledge and preparation, you can navigate the Connecticut rental market with ease. So, buckle up and get ready to dive into the nitty-gritty of the Connecticut rental process. We're here to guide you every step of the way. Navigating the rental process in Connecticut begins with understanding what it entails. Let's dive right in and break this down. The Connecticut rental process can be broadly divided into 5 main steps: searching for a suitable property, the application process, tenant screening, lease agreement, and finally, moving in. First things first, finding the right property. This is perhaps the most personal part of the process. It's about identifying a place that meets your lifestyle needs and budget. In Connecticut, you'll find a wide range of rental options, from cozy studio apartments in bustling city centers to spacious single-family homes in serene suburban neighborhoods. It's crucial to consider factors like proximity to work or school, access to amenities, and overall cost of living in the area. Now, once you've found a property that piques your interest, the next step is the application process. This typically involves filling out a detailed form, either online or in person. The form will ask for information such as your current address, employment details, and personal references. In Connecticut, you can expect to pay an application fee of about $50 per adult when applying online. This fee covers the cost of processing your application and conducting the necessary checks. Speaking of checks, let's move on to tenant screening. This is a crucial step in the rental process that protects both you and the landlord. During this phase, your prospective landlord will verify your credit and income, check for any criminal history, and look into any past evictions. To qualify as a tenant, you'll need to show proof of a monthly household income that is at least 3 times the monthly rent amount. Also, you must not have any previous felonies or evictions on your record. Now, if you pass the screening process, congratulations! You're one step closer to securing your new home. The next phase is the lease agreement. This is a legally binding document that outlines the terms and conditions of your rental arrangement. It will detail things like the duration of the lease, monthly rent amount, security deposit, and the responsibilities of both parties. It's essential to read this document thoroughly and ask for clarification on any points you don't understand before signing. Last but certainly not least, we have the move-in process. Once the lease is signed and initial payments are made, it's time to pack up and move into your new home. Some landlords may require a walkthrough before you move in to document the condition of the property. This can be beneficial for both parties as it helps avoid disputes over damages that may arise in the future. So, there you have it. The Connecticut rental process may seem daunting at first, but by breaking it down into these manageable steps, you can navigate it with confidence and ease. Remember, it's all about finding the right home for you, submitting a thorough application, passing the tenant screening, understanding your lease agreement, and finally, settling into your new place. Understanding this process can help demystify the rental market and make your search for a rental property less stressful. So, take a deep breath, arm yourself with knowledge, and happy house hunting. One important step in the rental process is tenant screening. But what does this mean? Well, let's delve into it. Tenant screening is a crucial part of the rental process, designed to protect both the landlord and the property. It's essentially a thorough background check conducted by the landlord or property manager to ensure that you, as a potential tenant, will be a reliable and responsible occupant. So what exactly does this screening process entail? It usually involves 4 key checks: credit verification, income verification, criminal history checks, and eviction checks. Starting with credit verification, this is where your potential landlord will check your credit history. They're looking for any red flags, such as late payments, defaults, or bankruptcies. Your credit score can indicate your financial responsibility, suggesting how likely you are to pay your rent on time. It's not just about the big-ticket items either. Regular, smaller payments like utility bills or mobile phone contracts can also contribute to your credit history. Next up is income verification. This is pretty straightforward. Your potential landlord wants to know that you have a steady income and can afford to pay the rent every month. You'll need to provide proof of income, which can include pay stubs, bank statements, or tax returns. In Connecticut, applicants must show proof of monthly household income that is equivalent to 3 times the monthly rent amount. The third check is a criminal history check. This is exactly what it sounds like. Your potential landlord will run a check to see if you have any criminal convictions. This is not to say that if you have a criminal history, you'll automatically be denied a rental property. However, it's important to note that landlords can deny applicants based on felonies that might affect the safety and well-being of the property or its residents. Lastly, there's the eviction check. This is where your potential landlord will see if you've ever been evicted from a property before. Being evicted can be a major red flag for landlords, as it could indicate a potential risk of non-payment or property damage. Now, you might be wondering, is there a fee for this screening process? The answer is yes. There is typically an application fee, which covers the cost of these checks. For online applications in Connecticut, this fee is $50 per adult applicant. Remember, the tenant screening process is not designed to make your life difficult. Instead, it's a measure put in place to ensure that landlords are renting their properties to reliable tenants and that the rental environment remains safe and secure for everyone. Being prepared for this screening process can increase your chances of securing your desired rental property. So make sure you have your ducks in a row. Gather your documents, prepare for the cost, and be ready to present yourself in the best possible light. It's all part of the journey towards finding your new home. So, the next time someone mentions tenant screening, you'll know exactly what they're talking about. You'll be ready to navigate the process with confidence and ease. And remember, being informed and prepared is half the battle. Being prepared for this screening process can increase your chances of securing your desired rental property. To qualify for a rental property, there are specific requirements that you must meet. Now, let's dive a little deeper into what these requirements are in the context of Connecticut's rental market. Understanding these will help you navigate the process smoothly and increase your chances of securing your dream rental property. First and foremost, you must have a clean record. This means you should not have any previous felonies or evictions. This requirement is not unique to Connecticut, but is a standard practice across the United States. It's a way for landlords to ensure the safety and security of their properties and the surrounding community. So if you've kept your nose clean and stayed on the right side of the law, you're already halfway there. Now, you might be wondering, how do landlords check for felonies or evictions? Well, landlords typically use a tenant screening service that checks multiple databases for criminal records and eviction history. This is where the application fee comes into play. In Connecticut, expect to pay around $50 per adult when applying online. This fee covers the cost of these checks. It's a small price to pay for the peace of mind of both you and your potential landlord. Next in line is the financial requirement. In Connecticut, you must provide proof of a monthly household income that's equivalent to 3 times the monthly rent amount. This rule of thumb is known as the 3 times rent rule and is another standard practice in the rental market. It's designed to ensure that you can comfortably afford the rent each month without stretching your finances too thin. But how do you prove your income? There are several ways to do this. If you're employed, you can provide pay stubs or a letter from your employer. If you're self-employed, you could show tax returns or bank statements. If you have other sources of income, such as alimony or child support, these can also be considered. The key is to be able to demonstrate a stable and consistent income flow. It's important to note that while these are the standard requirements, some landlords or property management companies might have additional criteria. For instance, some might require a higher income-to-rent ratio, particularly for more upscale properties. Others might take into account your credit score and rental history. So it's always a good idea to check with the landlord or property manager about their specific requirements before applying. It's also worth mentioning that these requirements are in place to protect both the tenant and the landlord. For tenants, it ensures that you're not getting in over your head with a rent you can't afford. For landlords, it helps to ensure they're leasing their property to responsible and financially stable individuals. In conclusion, meeting the qualification requirements for a rental property in Connecticut involves having a clean legal and eviction record and providing proof of a stable income that's at least 3 times the monthly rent amount. While the process might seem daunting, it's worth remembering that these checks are designed to protect everyone involved. So keep your record clean, save your pay stubs, and start crunching those numbers. With the right preparation and a clear understanding of the requirements, you'll be well on your way to securing your dream rental in Connecticut. Meeting these qualification requirements is a crucial step in securing a rental property in Connecticut. As you continue your rental journey, remember to stay informed, be prepared, and most importantly, don't be discouraged. With persistence and knowledge on your side, you're well equipped to navigate the Connecticut rental market. Happy house hunting. With the right strategies, you can navigate the Connecticut rental market effectively. Navigating the rental market can seem daunting at first glance. With a multitude of properties available, each with their own unique features and pricing, it can feel like you're trying to find a needle in a haystack. But don't fret, because knowing how to approach your search can make all the difference. One of the most effective strategies is to start your search early. The early bird gets the worm, as the old saying goes, and this is particularly true in the rental market. Starting your search a few months before your intended move date gives you plenty of time to research, visit potential properties, and make an informed decision. Remember, rushing can lead to regrettable choices, so give yourself plenty of time to find the perfect place. Next, use reliable property search platforms. There's a plethora of websites and apps out there dedicated to property listings, but not all are created equal. Look for platforms that offer comprehensive information about the properties, including high-quality photos, detailed descriptions, and, importantly, verified reviews from previous tenants. These platforms should also provide contact information for the landlord or property manager, making it easy for you to ask questions or arrange a viewing. Another crucial strategy is to prepare for the application process in advance. You've found the perfect property, but so have several others. Stand out from the competition by having all your necessary documents ready. This typically includes proof of income, references from previous landlords, and a clear credit report. Remember, landlords want reliable tenants, so showing that you're organized and proactive can put you in their good books. Now, let's talk about the application fee. In Connecticut, it's common for landlords to charge a $50 application fee per adult. This fee covers the cost of screening potential tenants, which includes credit and income verification, criminal history checks, and eviction checks. It's important to budget for this fee when you're planning your move. Qualifying for a rental property in Connecticut requires a clean slate. Applicants must not have any previous felonies or evictions. They must also show proof of a monthly household income that is equivalent to 3 times the monthly rent amount. This is a standard requirement in the rental market, designed to ensure that tenants can comfortably afford their rent. Understanding your rights as a tenant is another essential strategy. Familiarize yourself with the Connecticut Landlord and Tenant Act, which outlines your rights and responsibilities. This includes the right to a safe and habitable home, the right to privacy, and the right to take action if the landlord fails to meet their obligations. Being aware of your rights can help you avoid potential disputes and ensure that you're treated fairly throughout your tenancy. Finally, don't be afraid to negotiate the terms of your lease. While rent prices are generally non-negotiable, other terms such as lease length, pet policies, and maintenance responsibilities can sometimes be adjusted to suit your needs. Remember, negotiation is a two-way street, so be respectful and realistic in your requests. Let's recap. Start your search early and use reliable property search platforms. Prepare for the application process in advance and understand your rights as a tenant. Be aware of the qualification requirements and don't forget to budget for the application fee. And lastly, don't be afraid to negotiate the terms of your lease. Armed with these strategies, your rental property search can be a smooth and successful process. We've covered a lot of ground today, so let's summarize the key points. Firstly, we addressed the challenges of rental hunting. As we've learned, finding the right rental property in Connecticut isn't always a walk in the park. It involves a good deal of research, time, and patience. It's about more than just finding a place that looks nice. It's about finding a home that fits your lifestyle, budget, and needs. And remember, it's not just about the property itself. It's also about the location, the neighborhood, the amenities, and the overall living environment. We then delved into understanding the Connecticut rental process. Navigating the rental market involves understanding the legalities and the processes involved. This includes understanding your rights as a tenant, the responsibilities of the landlord, and the legal framework that governs the rental market in Connecticut. It's crucial to have a clear understanding of the lease agreement, the terms and conditions, and any other pertinent details before signing on the dotted line. Next, we explored tenant screening, decoding what it actually means. As we've learned, tenant screening is a process that landlords and property managers use to verify the credibility and suitability of potential tenants. This involves a comprehensive check, which includes credit and income verification, criminal history, and eviction checks. There's a $50 application fee per adult for online applications. This process is designed to ensure that the tenant is reliable and capable of meeting the obligations of the lease agreement. We then took a closer look at the qualification requirements. To qualify for a rental property in Connecticut, applicants must meet certain criteria. They must not have any previous felonies or evictions, and they must show proof of monthly household income that is equivalent to 3 times the monthly rent amount. These requirements are in place to ensure that tenants can comfortably afford the rent and that they have a history of responsible behavior. Lastly, we provided you with some valuable tips and strategies for navigating the rental market. Remember, preparation is key. Do your research, understand the market, and be clear about what you're looking for. Be proactive in your search, and don't be afraid to negotiate. And above all, ensure you have all your documentation in order before starting the application process. In conclusion, the Connecticut rental market may seem daunting at first, but with the right knowledge and preparation, it's certainly navigable. The process may be rigorous, but it's designed to protect both tenants and landlords, ensuring a mutually beneficial arrangement. It's about finding the right fit, a place where you can feel at home, and a landlord who values and respects you as a tenant. Remember, knowledge is power. The more you understand the rental process, the better equipped you'll be to navigate it successfully. So arm yourself with knowledge, prepare thoroughly, and approach your rental search with confidence. And finally, don't forget to enjoy the process. After all, finding a new home should be an exciting journey, not a stressful ordeal. Take your time, trust your instincts, and don't settle. The right place is out there, and with the right approach and the right attitude, you're sure to find it. Remember, the key to a successful rental property search is knowledge and preparation. Happy hunting!